Alright. Well, here I am out in the bayou. And by the bayou, I obviously mean Louisiana. Denham Springs, actually, to be exact. But, yeah, this area just flooded, actually. I had some siblings who live up here, and I wanted to visit them before I ship off. Look at that. They got the blue line flag up there. I like that. I'm a fan. I don't know if we got it on camera. Oh well. Anyways, so I'm just gonna talk about getting my physical. This is gonna be kind of short because I don't have a PC or anything. Can't really edit this video. So, getting my physical, I had to jump through a whole bunch of hoops and shit. I had to, well, first, right after the ASVAB, my recruiter messaged me and said, "Hey, we need more information from you." I was like, "Oh, but I already gave you a whole bunch of stuff from my physicians and whatnot." She was like, "Well, they need more." So I had to go down to my old asthma clinic because I used to have asthma meds, and I had to get approved. So I took a little breathing test that they have where you blow out all the candles in the computer, and they said I was good to go. They said I could do it, no problem. So I do that, I get that piece of paper, I'm like, okay, this ought to be good enough. He said I'm good. So I turned that in, and then a few days later, hey, we need more. MEPS wants more. So I'm like, okay. So I have to actually order records from that asthma clinic from, I think it was about 7 years back. I had to order 7 years worth of records from when I used to go there. So when I got that, I turned that in. A couple days later, hey, MEPS needs more information. So I'm like, okay, maybe this will do it. So then I go to my old pediatrician. First I have to track her down because I had no idea where the office was. It had been years since I've been there. And I went in there, I ordered my records. It cost like $14 or something like that. It took them about a week to get to me, but once they got to me, I went ahead and scanned them all in and emailed them. So I thought, that's good enough. They have all my old doctor visits. They have all my old asthma doctor visits. But no, it's still not enough. It says, hey, they need to know some of those prescriptions you had. That's what they're looking for. So then I go and I order my pharmacy records. I have to call up the pharmacy and request those. And then a few days later, that comes in the mail. Shows all the medications I'd had in the last 7, 8 years, something like that. Not many. So I send a picture of that and I'm like, hey, is this good enough? And she's like, well, that's not going to cut it because it needs to show the actual names of the med. We need to know exactly what those meds are. Because in the pharmacy records it showed the medicines, but they didn't say the name. It just had little ID numbers. So I had to go and I had to track down the pill bottles and the old. I had to go through the medicine cabinet and I had to find each of the medications I'd used. And if I couldn't find them, I had to still provide some proof that that was what I said it was. So I used to take a couple of medications for acne. So I had to go to my old, not gynecologist. I forgot what they're called. But anyways, I had to go to my old dermatologist. I had to get the records from those medications. So once I got those, this whole process took a month maybe to finally get approved. Maybe, if that. It might have been longer. But yeah, I had to get those records. I turned those in. I think about a week later, she finally came back and said, okay, you're good for a physical. So I went in for my physical a few days later. Whole bunch of other people. I knew it was going to be a long day, and it always is at MEPS. Especially when you got 20 people all doing the same thing you're doing, which is getting the physical. You had army dudes mostly. You always have mostly Army dudes, it looks like. Then you have maybe a couple Marines, some Air Force, Navy. You usually have more Navy. But yeah, we were all just going and doing the physical, and that took about 6 hours. Yeah, it took me about 6 freaking hours because they had stations set up. Like they had a hearing station where you tested your hearing. Then you went over to the vision, where they did your vision testing, obviously. Then they had to do a blood test, a urine test. I hated that. I have stage fright. So that was the hardest part. I had to push that out. I thought I was gonna bleed. So yeah, I got that. We had to do the alcohol test where you blow in the little thing, breathalyzer. So here, what else do we have to do? Oh yeah, we had to have them do the little touchy parts where they reach down there and touch your hoo-haws. Yeah, so after they touch the hoo-haws, they have to look through all your medical records and they have to say, alright, is this all your history? Are you sure? You better not lie. So after you give them the normal spiel, yeah, this is it, this is all. Then you have to finally do the physical part, the most physical part, which is the duck walk. You got to do the balance on one foot. You got to hop off your knees. You have to speed walk. Some other junk too. I don't remember exactly. Maybe swinging arms around and crap. I don't know. But they had 2 physicians in there monitoring us, watching us do it. And then they had a sergeant there who was also demonstrating. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention this, but for the urology, or I forgot what it's called, the urine test, urinalysis, they watched you. They watched you take a piss. That was my problem. It was so hard to get it out. But yeah, after 6 hours of this, and a lot of the times we were just sitting around watching TV because we had these little sheets of paper that told us where all the stations were, that they weren't really labeled very well. We didn't know exactly where to go, what to do. So I thought I was done before we did the duck walking crap. So me, along with a whole bunch of other people, were just sitting around watching Harrison Ford on the TV. Because they have TVs there. They have like a few TVs. Oh yeah, and in the little, it's like a break room kind of thing, all the deppers and the shippers and people can go into. They have like candy, they have drinks, they have a TV, they have video games, they have board games, a whole bunch of crap. It's a nice little room where you can chat and stuff and talk to people. So yeah, after that 6 hours was over, I went to the Coast Guard recruiter who showed up today. Not mine, but another one who was helping me work through it. And as soon as I handed him my papers, he was like, let me guess, you failed the urinalysis. And I was like, oh, hell no! I passed that. I passed the urinalysis. And there was one guy who actually failed it. So I felt bad for him. I came close to failing it because I couldn't get it to squeeze out easy. But I did. And I did pass. I passed everything. Then I had to set up the date of my oath. Which I wanted that to be Memorial Day. I said, okay, Memorial Day. And my recruiter was like, okay, that's good. So then I posted that on Facebook. And then she said, a day later, hey, wait, I forgot. That's Memorial Day. So I said, okay, when can we do it? And she said, Friday, the last day of the week before Memorial Day week. So I said, okay. So, to the surprise of everybody on Facebook, I went there. I got myself sworn in. Yep, you go into this little room, you sign all these papers with all these other people. Just basically, you know, signing yourself away to Uncle Sam, telling him you'll be there on the date you ship if you're not shipping that day. And then you go into the oath room. Somebody administers the oath, you raise your hand. Then you get family pictures. So that's the process. Yep. Wow, this is a wreck. A lot of these buildings were flooded. It was probably about up to knee height. And in some places around here, it was even deeper. Yeah, about that high. Yeah, anyways, that's it for this video. I'll post some more. Adios, muchachos.